Guys, welcome back. So today I have a haul for you, but I wanted to do this one a little different, so we are going to do this as a try-on haul. So if you're interested and you want to see what I bought, then just stay tuned. Okay, so first off, I'm going to start with something that I didn't just get. It's the Lanolin cream. Need that for my lips. You only need the smallest amount on this. As you can probably see, my lips are so cracked and dry, it's not even funny. And I've been drinking water. I will have drank at least 3 or 4 of these a day, and I just can't get hydrated. So all of these things are going to be from Ulta. I did just get these in. I haven't tried, well, I've tried one thing, just not in this particular shade. So let's start from the base up. First, I have this Revlon Photo Ready Pore Reducing Primer. Now, I've wanted to try this for a while because I have seen Taylor. I will put her username below because I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But I've seen her talk about this multiple times, so I did want to try this. It looks kind of like a light peachy color initially. There's a little bit of a smell, but doesn't seem to be anything too bad. It's not really greasy. I mean, there's a texture there, you can feel it, but again, it doesn't feel sticky or tacky, so let's just keep going. So I told you one of these I tried before, just not in this shade, and that is going to be the Maybelline Super Stay Foundation. Now, while I love the finish of this foundation, finding my shade has been awful. I tried the very lowest shade, I think was 102, was way too light. And I usually go light, that way if something oxidizes, I have some room for it to oxidize and not be completely orange, but that one did not oxidize and it was way too light. I looked like a ghost. So then I went up to 112 and that one was too orange. So now I went to the shade 110, which is Porcelain. There is only one other shade if this one doesn't work, which is I believe 105, and that one I think is only available at Ulta, so we're gonna hope and see, cross our fingers, that this Porcelain shade will work. Okay, so I feel like this shade is looking a little light. It may not be. I might end up having to mix a few shades. I don't know. We'll see. Next is going to be just a repurchase. It's the Revolution Concealer in shade C3. I've used up one of these already, so I had to repurchase it. But in wanting to try this, they also have color correctors. So I've got this shade, the orange shade. Yeah, it's just called orange. So I want to see about using that for the under eye. Ooh, look at that. That is like terracotta, almost brown. That, ooh. Let's try it, I guess. We'll see. I'm only going to put a very small amount of that on because that is looking very intense. I feel like the consistency on this is quite thick. I mean, it is pretty opaque, I feel. At this point, I just hope that the concealer can cover up some of those. I feel like it blended out pretty easily though. I look weird, I know, but I feel like it blended out pretty well. While we're on the eyes, I'm going to go ahead and prime mine. This I did not haul, I've had it. It's just going to be the Milani Eye Primer. I'm going to give that a few minutes to dry and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, so now I'm going to go in with my concealer and see how much it will cover up some of this red brown. That feeling, you know, when you've been running low on concealer and you finally get a new tube and you're not scraping. That's such an awesome feeling. Alright guys, if you're going to use this orange color corrector, use the slightest amount. Y'all saw I only put 1 dot on there. and I can still see that coming through this concealer. So use a very minimal amount. Let me see what I can do with this. I feel like I can still see some of the color coming through. Orange color, I mean. But we're just gonna keep going. Now we're gonna move on to powder. Now again, with this Maybelline foundation, they also have a powder foundation. Now this powder foundation, they do not have as many shades in this, but I did get the same 110 porcelain, so I want to try that. Now a thing about this one, I do not use powder foundations as my only foundation. Even with my NYX Stay Matte and Not Flat, I use that as more as just a powder, not necessarily as a powder foundation. I really don't notice like an extreme amount, but I also kind of don't want to keep piling stuff on my under eyes. So let's just go ahead and set the face. Okay, so I do think that that gives you more coverage, definitely. Looking a little powdery. We'll try and fix that with some finishing spray. Again, I don't have a full face of products, so I'm gonna do a little bit here and then off camera, and then I'll be back and show you what else I have. Okay, so the next thing I got was this Wet n Wild Ombre Blush. Now I already had the purple shade, I think it's in a purple haze, and this one is the Princess Daiquiris. It's more of a neutral peachy pink kind of ombre effect. So let's see. It's very, very creamy. With my skin tone, you are not going to be able to see that as a swatch. So let's see if it's going to show up on the face. Now, a lot of blushes for me, even if I can't see them on a swatch, they will show up on my face because my skin oxidizes everything. So let's just see how this goes. I think this shade, you're definitely going to have to build up. The purple one I feel like is impactful. This one, not so much. So yeah, I think it's pretty, but you're gonna have to build this to get any kind of color. Pretty much the last thing I have to try is gonna be this eyeshadow palette. It's one of their Reloaded. It is the Velvet Rose, I believe. Now, when I was looking, I totally have paper hanging from my sleeve. They said that this was supposed to be like a dupe for the Anastasia Soft Glam, and I love the colors of that one, but when I got to swatching this, I don't really know. I feel like these are going to be darker. Now, I don't own the Anastasia, but when I swatched them again, it felt like a lot of them look similar to each other. I'm going to insert a picture here of some swatches. And while this gold shimmery metallic is pretty, it looks like a chunky metallic. So I don't know how that's going to go on the eye, but we'll see. Okay, I can already tell there's definitely more creasing on my under eyes than I am used to. And I'm thinking it's probably because I put essentially 3 layers. The color corrector and 2 layers of the regular concealer. So I'm not particularly liking that. Definitely seeing major creasing on my under eyes, and that while I have wrinkles there, they usually don't show up like this. That is bothersome. Took this shade here to use as transition. This palette, I mean, you really don't have lighter transitions if you're looking for that. I mean, you've got a darker or you've got a really warm looking color. So I just use this one. I think for the main color on the eye, I'm going to go with this shade here. while this is the first time using this palette, I feel like it just doesn't have the pigmentation I'm used to with the ones I've tried before. I don't know. Well, I'll keep using it and keep messing and playing with it and see how it goes, but just my initial reaction, I don't feel like it's as pigmented. Okay, definitely I can see a difference from using it wet and just using it straight out of the pan. There is quite the difference there. Okay, I think I'm going to try this. It's a little bit darker brown. It's not quite the color brown as these. This one looks more, a little bit purpley brown. Let's give it a try. Now, I really like that outer shade I used, this top one, so I think that's what I'm going to do on the bottom. Now, I really didn't have a lot of fallout with these shadows either. If you can see that, I mean, there's a little speck here and there, but not much at all. Alright guys, so let's go and review everything we got. So far, this primer I'm liking. Again, I'll have to use this more, and I'm not in my usual setup. To film, I feel like when I sit on the floor, I get better quality in the video. I don't know why. So I've been doing things a little out of my ordinary, so we'll check on that. For the foundation, while I love the finish of this foundation and the coverage, the shade range is just not what it needs to be. For the concealers, your normal shades, again, absolutely love. This color corrector, I feel like is a little dark for me, and if you're gonna use this, use the minimal amount. Use such a small size, because I had to use double the layers of this just to cover up the color of this, and I've got a look that I feel is kind of cakey, and it's definitely showing lines under my eyes, and I don't really care for that look. So again, on this, if you're gonna use it sparingly. For the blush, while the purple has very high pigmentation, I feel like this one did not. It's definitely a natural look, so if you want a blush but you're not wanting something pow, or you want something you feel that you don't have to be precise with, then this might be one you want to try. But if you're wanting a real statement blush, this is not going to be it. This eyeshadow palette, again, it's the first time using it, but I feel like it's not quite the pigmentation as the other two Reloaded palettes that I have. For the powder, again, not using it as a powder foundation, more as a setting powder, I think this gave a great amount of coverage. And while the foundation shade, you know, I'm not really sure yet, I feel like this one was okay. I didn't really feel like it made me look any lighter, didn't look any darker, so I think this one is okay. I'm just gonna have to keep trying with them. So that's everything, guys. This was a little bit of a different video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching if you've stayed here to the end, and I will see you next time. Bye. Oh, and you want to know how smart I am? I went and looked at a look I wanted to do with these eyeshadows, put it on my phone, and guess what I'm filming with? So I can't get to the picture.